Welcome to another Warframe build video. Today we'll be taking a look at the Prisma Obex, one of the best melee weapons in the game. It's kind of good at quick melee, but at the same time it's really good at just being a melee itself. So we're going to take a look at it first of all. This weapon has some of the best stats in terms of crit and status, but it doesn't have the best damage. The Kogaki beats this, the Haruto beats this, every sparring weapon in the game beats this, but it doesn't beat its amazing hybrid stats. So before we get into the nitty gritty of it, we're going to be taking a look at its amazing attack speed of 1.33 tied with the Lycion. This is a one forma build, but I do not have anything I don't have a lot maxed out. So please feel free to add a second or third forma. I think 2 forma is the minimum requirement if you have maxed mods. But as you can see, it doesn't have the best damage ever. It has like so. Has like 45 or not, has like 55 60 damage going for it, which is not good considering the Kogaki and the Haruto. If we can find the Haruto, this is the Haruto. It has a lot more damage going for it, and if we look at the Kogaki, it also has a lot more damage going for it. So why does the Prisma Obex, why is the Prisma Obex top tier, you say? Well, mainly because of its insane 25% crit chance with a 2.0 crit multiplier, which is kind of average, but we also have a 30% status chance with an extremely fast attack speed, which means you're going to unleash a ton of DPS. Your finger's going to get broken, or your thumb is going to get broken, but it's whatever. This thing is tied with the Taipedo of being the fastest melee weapon in the game, and the Dual Ichor, which is another crit-based weapon, is a 3.0 crit multiplier, so its crit damage isn't going to be the best, but it definitely has a good crit, which allows us to use Berserker, and this is the build we're going to be using here. So please feel free to add 2 or 3 more forma, because you're going to need it. So we're going to go with the obvious mods here, on pressure point, and then we're going to put 4 dual stat mods in for a radiation and viral build, which surprisingly wrecks the enemy. We also have Blood Rush and Berserker, and we're not using Blood Drifting Contact or Body Count, mainly because Naramon is here, and Naramon has an amazing passive where it degrades 10 of your combo meter instead of the whole thing, and it's insane. So it's basically like a sniper combo meter for melees. And then Condition Overload, 6% melee damage for each status type affecting the target, and you can put a maximum of 5 status types. Now you might be thinking to yourself, this thing is going to be ass. It's a hot load of ass. People have been saying that the Prisma Obex is bad. Until Condition Overload came out, this thing is actually pretty good. And this is a viral build, so this isn't really even meant for this guy. Now, if we put a corrosive build, I think we're gonna see its true potential. So we're gonna put on Naramon, which gives us the affinity spike, and we're going to go for quick melee now. This thing is insanely fast, and you're going to break your thumb by just spamming the trigger. So its quick melee is kind of good, and since it has, a 100% status chance, Condition Overload is meant for this weapon. Okay, now that I'm hyperventilating, we're going to go with the Corrosive Blast build next. And before Condition Overload came out, there was a Syndicate mod that was used for this thing, that a ground finisher would do 50% of its ground finisher damage to an AoE effect, which was okay at the time, but it's not the best. I don't recommend that mod over Condition Overload in any sense. This is a corrosive build. The corrosive build, Condition Overload, going for right now. So it's really good. Now, if you don't feel like using, if you don't have Condition Overload, I do highly recommend Shattering Impact, as that mod is low-key one of the best mods in the game because of like the impact. Every impact shaves off something of the enemy's armor. So again, we want to get that crit in there. We want to get those finishers in there because a ground finisher does multiple hits to the enemy, which allows you to proc multiple statuses, which means Condition Overload is just fantastic. So next we're gonna do a quick melee, and we'll see. We'll see. As you can see, its quick melee potential is absolutely amazing, and yeah, you guys underestimate this weapon. And I'll show you the Prisma Scana over this. I do pick this over the Prisma Scana, mainly because of so I'm doing like 2,000 corrosive procs there with those the condition overload. This thing does insane damage. And the crit, all of it just adds up, and it's just one of the best weapons. And if it's super fast, it's so fast. So we're gonna take it to the stealth age now. We're going to do one of the best frames in terms of melees, which is Octavia. Octavia. And we're going to test this against 5 corrupted heavy gunners, which, if you didn't know, you gotta get into that stealth age, and then we put on amp, and it gives us a damage boost. Quick melee with stealth on it. This is also with Octavia's 4. Oh yeah, we also have the melee damage buff too. As you can see, this thing is so good, and it's not Lysion good, but it's definitely good. So that's just with Octavia. Just, it's Octavia. Now, if we take Loki into the mix, which is like your OG endgame kind of guy. See, we're going to use the stance, because with the stance with stealth multipliers, it's absolutely horrific what Loki can do on stealth multipliers with this stance. It's very, very mobile, and it hits multiple enemies. And it shouldn't hit multiple enemies, but it hits multiple enemies, and that's why sparring weapons are kind of good. And you can also proc insane slash numbers. I just procced a 32,000 number for a slash, and it's super good. We're going to try one more time with Rhino. This is my main melee testing guy, and we're going to pull out the basic stance. So obviously getting a corrosive proc is key, and those ground finishers just absolutely melt. As you can see, ground finishers just deal the most damage. I think sparring weapons definitely have the best ground finishers. As you can see, just completely shreds them. And now we're hitting orange crits, which isn't surprising at all. So that's the Prisma obex. Any questions you guys want to ask, please feel free to ask. There's nothing else I can really say about this weapon besides, you thought wrong. People keep saying that the Prisma obex is like horrible and it's not worth your time. Shall I recommend? That is actually one of the best melee weapons in the game. And the second I saw it, I was like, oh, I gotta get it, because I think I missed my chance on getting these bad boys the first time, so I had to get these the second time. And fuck, I'm so happy I got these. These are some of the best melee weapons I've ever played with. So yeah. One more time, we'll test out the basic quick melee. Ground finishers and quick melee are also super good. And you don't even realize that you're doing the ground finishers because of how fast the weapon actually hits the enemy. And that's what makes this weapon super good, are the ground finishers. And this is the only sparring weapon that excels at stats like these, because the Haruto and the Kogaki have mediocre crit chance, while the Prisma Obex just has this amazing crit chance and status chance. And yeah, I completely recommend this weapon for anyone who doesn't know what this weapon is. It's just a super good weapon, period. And if it can shred a Corpus Heavy Gunner, it can pretty much shred anything else. Also, you can send them flying with the slide for a little bit of CC. So sparring weapons are some of my favorite weapons in the game. But god damn, is the Prisma Obex fine. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, possibly subscribe. It would make my day. Peace out.